Hey everyone, and welcome back. So we're still in pattern testing 2 weeks. So I was quite crazy and applied for basically everything. There's so many amazing patterns out there. And I got 4 in 1 week. They weren't all due at the same time. 3 of them were due within 3 days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then 1 was due today. So I figured I'd film everything and do that. I didn't actually get a lot of me or any of me actually making them. I made them here and there on the go. I got to do it between looking after my 2 sons and while I'm at work. And so it just gets really late at night and I'm just like, oh, I can't film. So, but I did have some amazing tests that I did. Definitely some interesting experiences. They were all run so differently. And I talked about that a little bit with like at the start of how there were several that have group chats and several that didn't. So I'll talk about that as I go through the tests. So the very first one I did that wasn't in this segment was the ice cream turtle, which I still love, by Whimsical Dream Crochet. Still love it. It's going to sit here. You'll notice that I'm rearranging my room. It is going to be on a session of its own of figuring out what I want to do with this space. It's really hard because the roof is angled, so I actually don't have wall space. But I really do want to have it set up nicer. It is also our guest room, so when I get in here it becomes creative chaos, and then it's like a 2-hour clean to have a guest. So I want to make it so that there's a separate space and that my stuff can be organized more. I have this awesome set of shelves here that I haven't had access to because the bed was in front of it. So we're going to move the bed to the other side and just do this whole thing. Another video. So this was the first pattern test I've ever done. And I loved it because it was a turtle and I own 20 turtles, which is just incredible. Like as a kid, I always wanted a turtle, and now I own 20 of them. So you will hear my son, he's just asleep. So just sort of trying to be. So that was the first pattern test I did a few weeks ago. Then I got chosen, trying to figure out, remember the order I got chosen for. I got chosen for these plants. Now, these are awesome plants. So this one's got a little face. And I think it's Crochet by Cassie. And then there's this one and this one, which has a little hanger. Now the cool thing about these two is she's actually made it so the soil can be removed. You make a ball of soil and then you can pot it in one that's hanging. Now the only downside is I couldn't make faces on these because then obviously the pot liner will go into and you'll be able to pull it out the other side, and I didn't really want that. But I love the fact that you can just repot a plant. We'll repot this one too. Nice and simple. There are 4 of them. I did make the base for the last one, and I think I already talked about that, but my son had an injury this week and we ended up in the urgent care on the day that a day or 2 before the plants were due, and I just didn't have the time to get the last one done. So if you go look at other pattern testers, they did an awesome job on all 4 of them. I sadly only did 3, but she said the minimum was only to get 1 done and try both pots. Don't know how you do one with just both pots, but what my favorite, this one I think was my favorite because it's got the face, but it's also got these little flowers. Where's the flower? Down the bottom there. So it's got the 2 colors, and I just I loved how simple it was. It was repetitive. Once you learnt the pattern, you could make 6 or 7 like of these strands and just crochet them in. So this one was an awesome pattern, and that one was a a group chat. I believe she's in, no, she's not the one in Germany. She's in America, I think. And so the time difference was a bit unusual. I couldn't comment and be involved as much as I wanted, but it was great to wake up and see other people were ahead of me in the pattern and they fixed things, and then I'd go and it was kind of like a double check. So I quite liked that aspect, that someone found it, that it was corrected, but then to have someone else come along and double check that correction is correct. So I kind of breezed through it because I was quite late into getting these done because I was working on this guy. And he's not meant to be this big, but this is Yuki, the chameleon. And when I applied, I said I would make him or her a blend in with the sunset. And so I had a bit of stress with this one. So I'll tell you about the stress first. So I ran out of this peach color, and it was the day before it was due. I ran out and I was like, here. And I hadn't finished the legs, hadn't finished the body, hadn't done, so I was still on the stripes, and I ran out of the wool. And luckily my partner was going to a big town for a mini golf tournament, and so I just did an online order and he picked it up on his way home, and I managed to get it in under the wire. I got it done. So this is Yuki. You put wire in the tail. You don't have to. You can. There's a method to stitch it, but then you don't do the spine all the way down. And I love it. The feet, they've got these little toes, you can see. And I have to say, the surface crocheting on this is just amazing. Like, I was struggling so much. I was like, this is really tight. I probably did it too tight. But I just love the lips, and that you can't see that there's a bottom, like the color changes. There is a lot of color changes, so you've got to be good at like tying in because of the stripes and the facial features. But oh my god, I'm in love. I think that I would try and make it smaller next time, different size wool and hook and everything. But I thought I had enough of this wool, and it was the only wool I thought I had enough of. And so I ended up having, I think the pattern said for a 5mm, and I ended up having to use a 7mm for this wool. But it's gorgeous, and because it's not one I'm going to ever sell, it can stay. And yes, I would make this one again. I would just not do it while I'm looking after my sons. It might be like an evening project, just simply because of the face. But this is a genius. I couldn't be 100% sure, but I think this is her first pattern, and she is in Germany, I believe, and so not. There were a couple times in the chat. This was another one that had a chat where her English wasn't the best, but the chat was great. It was super international chat, with so many time zones, and so supportive, like progress photos. Just, yeah, both chats were pretty similar. It was kind of like you were just in a family and could just say, oh yeah, we're doing this. At one point I got my wool so twisted from constantly changing them that my partner sat and was untangling them, and I took a photo and put it in the chat. So I'm like, yeah, and everyone was like, oh, so what's everyone doing right now? And I was like, oh no, I'm working on it, but my partner's untangling my wool. And then everyone was like, oh yeah, my partner does that too. He just sits on the couch and we're like, oh, that's pretty cool actually. They're really supportive partners. So anyway, that's Yuki. Oh, I don't remember the designer's name, but I will make sure to put it on the screen and link it in the description, because awesome pattern. That's a fun one. So the next one is this dash hound in a hot dog costume. So you make them separate, And I absolutely loved this method of making the feet and crocheting it together with the little eyes and everything. He's gorgeous. And then you make the hot dog. Unfortunately, the bag doesn't look the best because I couldn't weave in the ketchup and stuff. But then you just put them on and there's in a hot dog. I really like them. I don't know if I would make the costume again. Costume's super simple, but I don't think it's necessary. I think just having a dog, but I've never made a dog before. And I think a dog would sell really well. I don't know. I don't honestly don't know, but I wouldn't go in and buy it, but then I wouldn't go in and buy crochet because I can make it myself. So I don't know. It'll be it's just one of those really fun patterns to try and make. And I do love making the hot dog squiggles and stuff. Someone was really creative and did the hot dog like an S and then a thing down the middle, so it looked like a dollar sign. It was really cute. Lovely pattern. This one was a group chat. It wasn't an active group chat. Basically everyone just kind of kept to themselves, posted their pictures and said thank you. There wasn't a lot. It was a really straightforward pattern, and I think that was the difference, was like the plants, there were multiple, they were a bit complicated. Easy once, like, no, they're easy to do, but because there's multiple parts to it, it looks complicated, and so there had to be a lot of to and fro to make sure that we were all on the same page with what we were understanding the instructions to be. And Yuki was a little bit time consuming, but the facial details and things like that. And it was just awesome to see everyone like camouflage their chameleons. So this one was straightforward because, you know, you don't have a lot of different color options with it. A hot dog's a hot dog. The dash hound's a dash hound. So it wasn't a creative license one, but it's a really sweet pattern and really fun to make, and I think kids would actually quite like this. I do hope she comes out with some other costumes so that you could, like some mods or something, so that you could you know, set up a station with your dash hound. They can choose the dash hound and then they can choose some costumes to go with it. It'd be really, really cute. So the last one I did, that is, I think, being launched tomorrow, is this low-sew unicorn. So she'd advertised it as a no-sew unicorn, but she forgot that you sew on the head, which is not a huge deal at all. Everything else is crocheted in. So surface crochet, you do the little tail, the thing, and the horns. The ears are crocheted in the round, so you don't pre-make them, you make them as you go, but the arms and legs are crocheted in as you go. So I did this sparkly little brown wool, some fluffy white, and then a rainbow mane. She's done it as a neon, so each of the main colours are different. I quite like having the rainbow, a little bit of free license, because I mean, unicorns are white. But this one was a super quick make. I haven't actually found a unicorn that I've enjoyed making. I did enjoy making this one. I love the way that, like, when it sits, it doesn't like sit forward, so it's doing the splits, but it does sit. And she does give you a bit of creative license in that, you know, she's like, oh, we'll do as long of mane as you want. So you could do a mane all the way down, like a horse or something. But she's like, oh, I do 3, but you can do as many as you want. Yeah, it's a really cute little make, great for a little girl to just pick up and hold and squeeze. And super simple. So this one didn't have a group chat or anything. She literally just messaged me and then she emailed me the PDF. We had a huge back and forth with the emails because mine wasn't working, hers wasn't working, but I finally got them. She did a couple YouTube videos to help you do the ears and the horn and the mane. but I thought the pattern was pretty straightforward, that you didn't really need that. And so then I just messaged her my notes. It was a PDF, so it was a bit tricky because she'd missed a couple things, and they were big things. And then when I told her, other people had already told her, but because it wasn't on Canva or a live document, it couldn't have been edited, and I didn't see the other changes. So she probably just got the same feedback from everyone. So I am going to be doing testing this week. This week is going to be a test week for me, so that's going to be this week's video. And definitely going to do live. Everyone has the same instructions at all times. I can edit as I go. I think it's just the best case. Otherwise, yeah, it was, oh, I've already heard that, or I've already, oh, sorry, yeah, you need to do this and stuff. So otherwise you'd be like sending out the instructions, sorry, I forgot this round, sorry, I forgot, or something. So live, definitely, if you're going to do pattern tests, do live. Yeah, so, oh, she had a name. Name the unicorn. Must say Matilda. Could very much be wrong. I'll write it down. Mimeo. So I didn't actually get any crochet roulette done this week. I did draw one. It was an All from Jade frog on a swing. I made it. I didn't end up filming the end of that day. The finished results, completely forgotten why. Oh, I think that was the day that my son went into urgent care. And so I haven't, and then I've been rearranging the rooms. I haven't been able to do the crochet roulette, which I've been a bit disappointed of, because that's actually really motivating. So hoping to get back into that. But what I have done is been really inspired by everyone else's patterns to work on my own. So I had made these donuts. These, I'm calling them comic donuts. Not sure what to do, but there's a little face on that one, and can put a face on this one. So I was going to do a pattern test for this, and if you see my Instagram, there is actually a sneak peek of this one, because I was saying that I was going to do a pattern test call for it, and get this one out. But over the weekend, I actually got super inspired, weirdly enough, by this unicorn. So I sent the unicorn picture to my mum, and my mum was like, oh, that would be really easy to turn into a Highland cow. And I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. So I was like, okay, but I don't have Highland cow colors. Like, I don't. Browns are like super hard, like, and oranges are super hard in this town. Or in this country, actually. New Zealand's just super hard in general. So I started with, oh, this guy. Yeah. And he was meant to be a snuggler, so he is actually like half double crochets. He can be a snuggler. And whoops. So he's a snuggler, but I've just stuffed him for now because he stands up a bit better. And so I started with him and realized that, no, I think he's going to be a Yeti. And so I made it, ended up having to remake the head because it looked too much like a cow. I remade the head and I was like, oh my god, perfect Yeti. Sent it to my mum and she's like, it looks like the devil. And I'm like, damn. She's like, maybe if you'd made it in blue. So, made a couple changes and I made it in blue. And you can now meet Frosty and Theme. So this will be a double pattern where you can make the abominable snowman Frosty, or you can make Theme his devil friend. So there's only a few minor alterations to get them to look the way they are, but they're super cute. And again, they are snugglers. So this one is a bit loose because obviously they're half double crochets. This one's a bit thicker because it was different wool. But I absolutely adore them. And I posted the testicle about 10 minutes ago. So while you're watching this, it should actually still be up. So it is Monday, the 3rd of March. And the testicle's up until Friday, the 7th. So I'm going to have 5 for each. And you do get both patterns. And I'm in love with them. I think this, because this is probably my first, like, I don't know, real pattern. I mean, I've got the donuts and I've got a few other things around and things, but these just came together so quickly. The others I've like worked on over time, or just like, oh, I the octopus was super simple, but this one I've been watching people on YouTube for a long time, for about 2 years now, since my first son was born, and I'd just sit and crochet and he'd just hang out, and they would say that they were doing 2 patterns a month or a pattern a week, and I'd just be like, how do you do that? Like, how do you sit down and write it and all this sort of stuff? This 2 days, made this one yesterday, made this one today. I was so inspired, and it's just that other people are so inspiring, but I haven't seen Yetis and I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, it just looked, I think it was the legs. The legs, they just call Yeti to me. On this one, I did put like a layer of fluff between the two. So I went back and surface crocheted a fluff ring so that you can't see the color changes. Whereas this one, I didn't. I think I might, but I wanted to take the photos for the pattern first, because it will be an option, but I don't want people to see it as an only. So for the photos, I also made this one a little stick. This is literally just wool wrapped around a stick with a bit of wire in the frame to make a little, what is it called? It's not a javelin. I'm sure one of you is screaming at me right now for not knowing. It's not a trident either, so don't say that either. But so he's got that, and then I also made, oh, there goes Mr. Sausage Dog. Yeah. I made some snowballs. So I might put them both in the pattern just because I've got them in the photos, but I mean, a snowball is literally just a ball, and it was a 6 double increase, 2 rounds, it did decrease and then close. So I never went more than 12 stitches. And they're just, but they're he needed a snowball, and he looked so adorable. Oh gosh, what's with all this fluff? Holding his snowball. So this is Frosty and Fiend. The evil son. So yeah, look out in the future for my comics. I have a cake coming. I have a bunch of my comic things, but I wanted to get them out in a bundle, and so I wanted to do like a few tests in a week, and I just didn't get around to finishing the other bits. And so these ones are ready, and I thought, okay, well, I'll launch something, get my first pattern test up. And I was like, oh, maybe it would be nice to do a simple one, but it looks like it's this one because I just super excited. So I hope you are too. They don't sit well, but they do stand against things. We'll just block everything. It's snowballs. They're best buddies. So, one lives in the hot, one lives in the cold, but they make it work, probably via Skype. So the only other thing I crocheted this week, other than testing and my own testing, was I got this rainbow wool from Temu. I just wanted to see it. I was hoping it was going to be like this size, but it's not. It's ginormous. So I didn't know what to do with it. So I made the giant octopus. And he's awesome. He's gorgeous. So again, probably not what I'm going to sell. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a huge collection. But I will probably buy the stuff again and make a few more of him because he was awesome. I hand crocheted him because I didn't have a crochet hook big enough. So I just used my fingers. My fingers got a little bit sore, so if I do them again, I'll probably look to get a really big crochet hook. But it actually wasn't so bad. He took me an hour, and I did actually have a little wool left. I was playing yarn chicken towards the end, but I probably got a good meter left. And I didn't have to compromise him at all. All his legs are still the same length. I did think about making a couple smaller if I needed to. He closed up well, so he's just very cool, cuddly. My son was using him as a pillow, just sleeping on him while watching TV because I was crocheting in the lounge. So he has been son approved, so that's cool. So that is actually me for this week. Well, the last 2 weeks it's been a bit hectic. Hopefully this week will be a bit easier, as I only had the pattern tested call this week. I'm not actually doing the test until the following week, so I will have time to get back to Crochet Roulette and getting my room organized. So those are going to be the Crochet Roulette is for Instagram. You don't normally see that here, but you'll see a vlog on my redoing of the room. Trust me, it's chaotic. I really wanted to clean before I even took the pre-photo or the pre-video, but I didn't. I promise, there was mayhem. So there's that one. I'm going to do a vlog on like letting you guys know how many people apply for my tests. If anyone, I mean, I hope people do. I hope they like them. It's so daunting putting yourself out there. You know, you put your heart and soul into this. This is all your design, and then if nobody, yeah, it'll be, I don't know. Anyways, we will see. I'm just not going to worry about something I cannot control right now. So I'll let you know when how that's going. I'll show you me picking the people on Friday. I have a few ideas because I've been watching there's been a couple YouTube videos from crocheters on how or what their criteria is to pick people, so I'm intrigued to do that process. I still have to put my pattern into Canva. I'm going to see if one of my crochet friends, online friends who I've never talked to, would maybe want to do a pre-test for me, or at least quickly read through the pattern to make sure it's semi-logical. Because again, it's coming out of my head. I've put it all into Notion as I'm writing and as I'm doing it. So I've done it twice, so it's fairly there, but I just need to do the little tweaks and things to make sure that the Yeti and the Devil pattern can be like can be seen to be separate. And then I'll probably post that video, and then after I will do another video on the actual community chat and the process of, you know, live updates and things like that, because again, it's just something completely new. So been in the tests, still applying for a few here and there. I'm mainly only applying for ones that have over 100 comments on them, because even in threads I have seen people saying, oh, I got nobody applying, or I only got 10 or 20 people, and they're not as they're still beginners or something, and these are an intermediate pattern. And so I definitely go for the ones that are smaller. I do try and find I check every day for tester calls, and but if it's got over 100 people applying, you've got enough people. I don't need to be in that mix. I would rather help the smaller groups, or the smaller people, get their pattern out. because I hope that people would do the same for me. I mean, the big ones are gorgeous patterns, and I'd love to be chosen for them. But it's not necessary. And also, I am trying now at the moment to get my own patterns out. So I'm trying not to take on so many of the time-consuming tester ones. So I haven't been picked for a while, I think, because I've been a bit more choosy. And I'm okay with that because I had to put aside my own stuff to do it. And I want to try and figure out how I could do tests without it being my entire life, because you're not paid for it. I mean, yes, you get the pattern, but if you do the pattern exchange of maybe a $10 pattern, let's just say, who knows, for your time, your materials, your knowledge, because you are putting your knowledge into sending notes, your photography, your marketing, because you are sharing and promoting it, you are not even getting a good minimum wage. So unless you're going to use that pattern like 20 times and sell your plushies, it's more of a volunteer gig, which is completely fine. I like helping other people in the community. But I just hope that comes back around. And I have seen that, like, the community is great. I haven't, there's only been a couple people who are like, I'll friend you if you friend me, and you friend them and you like their account and stuff like that, and then they unfriend you. But that's not the biggest part of the community. The community is super supportive. I have some great people that we tag each other in. I mean, I don't know them. I think one's from New Zealand. I know that. But the rest of the time, we're just tagging each other, and this is my tag buddies. I know their names on the thing. I know nothing else about them. But I'm sure if I tagged them or sent it to them, the testicle, they would all apply because they love testing. And yeah. But the other cool thing is that I am on 90 Instagram likes right now. And I know to some of you people, they're like, oh, I'm on thousands. But remember when you were on 90? And you're like, I'm going to hit 100 this week. So this is my push. The Yeti and my abominable snowman and my devil, Yeti and devil, they will get me over my 100. And I am super excited because I started this channel, this push on social media in January. So it's only been 6 weeks, and to be on 100 likes, 100 followers, and I have some, like, I think 20 subscribers. And I tell you, my skills and everything, they've just progressed so much. And the inspiration, as I say, like, I could probably be doing a pattern a week right now. And I know that that's like, people I've watched have said, just ride the train. Like, if you can design and you're in the design spirit, just design, because you will have lulls. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to ride it and get out as many as I can. Like, I don't have to get them all out into the world, but I have to get them out of my head so that when I have a lull, I've got something to fall back on. But yeah, I mean, like, my Notion ideas list is probably like 30 long. I could do like a year of a pattern a week. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so that's me. It is like 11 o'clock at night here. I have time to do a crochet with me, maybe, if I can find it. Oh, excuse me. If I can find it in the pile behind the camera, which isn't styled, and make something, or I could probably just infinitely scroll on Instagram. Well, I hope that people will, like, anyways, go sign up to pattern test, please. I don't want to just have nobody wanting to pattern test. And as I said, it's like, it is made to be a snuggler. These are half double crochets, and so this is empty. These are just lightly stuffed so that they would be easier to photograph, but they make a gorgeous snugglers, and I just love the details. I love the little feet, and he's got a thumb and a hand on both sides. Those little horns, they are crocheted in, and the ears are crocheted in the round. So they're sort of surface crocheted. You actually leave a hole and then you crochet the horn. I am still playing with the idea of making these ones just slightly more pointed, but not there yet. Anyways, that is it from me this week. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I have loved pattern testing. Definitely want to be doing more, and I highly recommend it if you want to push your skills, if you want to be inspired, like you're just like, oh, that's an amazing way to do that. Like, I would never have thought of that. And you don't use it in the same pattern, but there was a technique. Yeah, so these fingers were actually inspired by Yuki's feet. And so it's not exactly the same because these toes are even, and I wanted this to be a thumb and a finger, but the technique of making the parts and sewing it with, this is low sew, so the only thing you sew on is the head actually. But the technique was amazing, and then putting the little feet on, yeah, I love this so much. Okay, anyways, video's getting too long, so I will catch you later, and till next time, stay cozy.